Good afternoon, students. So welcome to week 2 of your 6-week class. And so this week in the forums, what you're doing is you're going to be guessing each other's food posts. And so the purpose of that forum, week 2 forum, is for you to practice your descriptive language skills. And in order to have a successful food post, you need to appeal to all 5 senses, so that the reader can experience through sight, through sound, through hearing your food post, and then guess correctly what your food post is. And so that's going to be the week 2 forum. And the week 3 forum, what you're going to do is that's going to be the first of your peer review forums. What is a peer review? So in the week 3 forum, what you're going to do is you're going to post your rough draft of your narrative essay before Wednesday. Then you have until Sunday to look at other people's papers and comment on other people's papers. So you're going to comment on 2 people's papers, and you're going to comment on their essay structure, grammar, and punctuation. And so when you look at other people's papers, and you help them improve their grade by commenting and improving their thesis statement, that's known as a peer review. In other words, you're looking at your peers' papers. And what's the purpose of a peer review? Purpose is for you to improve your grade and also for you to get better at your writing skills. And so an example of a peer review would be like, hey John, your thesis statement is in the wrong place. Professor H wants us to put our thesis statements as the last sentence of the first paragraph. And that, or another sample peer review would be something like, your paragraphs are supposed to be 5 to 7 sentences long, but you have your paragraphs, it's too short. So when you comment on ways in which other people can improve their papers, then other people can then incorporate this feedback into their final draft, and so that your final draft is also due in week 3. And so basically after you finish uploading your rough draft and after you finish peer reviewing 2 student papers, then you need to go back to your own paper to see if anybody has given you feedback on ways in which you can improve your paper. Then you incorporate that feedback into your final draft. And that would be your week 3 final draft for the narrative essay. And also next week, you're also going to be taking a midterm. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go to the announcements or your very first welcome email to find your midterm study guide. So I've sent out the midterm study guide with the answers so that you should study the midterm study guide before you take your week 3 midterm. And so that covers the midterm, and then for week 4, in week 4, you're going to start doing your comparison contrast essay. And so I will talk about the comparison contrast and what is a comparison contrast essay in next week's short Zoom. And so most of you, the most common mistake as I've been grading your week 2 rough drafts is that you didn't include a life lesson thesis statement in your narrative essay. And so when you write an essay, you make a claim and then you back up that claim with your body paragraphs. And so in a narrative essay, you write your life lesson and then you back up that life lesson with your story. So for instance, if I said the turning point in my life was when I learned that I should give people second chances. Then you write a story about why or how you learned how to give people second chances. So that was what I talked about last week when I talked about the military guy who threw up on his wife, but she loved him anyway, even though he threw up on her, and she gave him a second chance. So that was the second chance essay I talked about last week. So we're going to finish up this narrative essay with a moral. So your life lesson moral sentence needs to state the main idea, the moral of your story, and it needs to be placed as the last sentence of the introduction and the first sentence of the conclusion. And so then you would write your three, so each paper will have 5 paragraphs, and each paragraph will be 5 to 7 sentences. And you need to format your paper as an APA formatted paper, and you need to use Times New Roman 12, and don't forget to double space your paper and indent 5 spaces the first line of every paragraph. When you post your rough draft into the forum, you can then cut and paste your paper directly into the forum. You don't have to upload it. So that makes it easier for us to look at your paper, read it, and give you peer review. You can also get peer review, do your peer review using ChatGPT. And so how do I access ChatGPT? You go to www.openai.com and scroll all the way down to the bottom, and that's ChatGPT. Then once you get into ChatGPT, you put into the prompt, give essay feedback on grammar, punctuation, and essay structure. And then after that, you cut and paste the student paper without their name and school into ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT will output for you a great peer review that the other student can use to improve her paper. So basically a peer review forum is a place where you help other students improve their paper, and other students give you feedback to help you improve your papers. It's all about improving your paper, where you give actionable suggestions for people to improve their papers. Now, if you have any questions, okay, you can always email me. I'm always available by email, not so much texting. And if you have any missing assignments, you should always check your grades tab for any zeros. If you have zeros, then that means you have missing assignments. If all your assignments have been graded or have grades, then that means that you have no missing assignments. So it is your responsibility to keep track of your missing assignments by looking at the grades tab. And so I ended this 10-minute video for my 6-week class, and I hope that I hope that you guys have a great week and have fun with the food game. One other thing about the food game: if people have not successfully guessed your food post, you would then give them some more hints as to what it is. Don't just simply blurt out, "Oh, it's not pizza, it's lasagna." Okay, that kind of defeats the purpose of the descriptive word exercise. So if people have trouble guessing what it is, then you write another short food post giving people more hints as to what it is. So in this way you are able to do your and one last thing. I know I keep remembering things because I'm doing this off the top of my head. Okay, one last thing. When you go to the Professor H writing channel, and I've orally narrated all of your the entire ENGL 101 book, okay, textbook. So all you have to do is go to the Professor H writing channel, and you put into the search engine Chapter 1, Section 1, for instance. And then Chapter 1, Section 1 will show up, my video of me reading Chapter 1, Section 1. So if you have any parts of the textbook that you're having trouble understanding the grammar, and I will do a kind of short lecture on that particular topic. So for your midterm, don't forget to study the midterm study guide, which has the answers at the end of the midterm study guide. And so if you have any other questions, now I can end this video and say, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at any time. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the Professor H writing channel. So I end this video and I say, have a great day.